Hi, welcome to CV Quotes, the quickest and easiest way to get your moves from the US to Canada and vice versa. The purpose of this video is to register you for CB Quotes as a member and also to show you how to get a quote once you're in the system. First thing you need to do is go to our website at www.cbquotes.com. As you can see, it's here on the screen. Go to Register Now at the top right hand and we'll set up the registration. Here's the registration form. This has to be completed in full. You need to put an email in here, password of your choice here, and re-enter that password here, as well as all the other pertinent information below. We'll pause right now while I complete this. Okay, now the form is complete. You have to submit it for approval to the website, and you do that by tapping on this button here. Once you've done that, if you want to email me at vince@cbquotes.com to advise, and we will get you activated right away. This may speed up the process. Okay, so you're all registered up now and you have your user login and your password, etc. You now need to go back to the website at www.cbquotes.com, and this time go to the top left and tap in on the user login. You now find yourself at a login page, and here you'll enter the email that you used and password that you used when you did the registration. So this is all completed now, and you tap on this button, the login button, to get into the system. And here you are at the main quote page. As you can see, there are a number of sections which need to be completed. The first one is the origin location. In this section, you can use the drop-down menu to either fill in Canada or the United States as the origin. For the purposes of this quote, we're going to use Canada right now. You then choose the province. At this point in time, you'll only find Ontario as the choice for provinces. CB Quotes is expanding and will eventually be across Canada, but right now we're just offering services in and out of Ontario. However, having said that, the population of Ontario is quite large and will cover quite a good percentage of all the quotes coming in and out of Canada. So we will choose Ontario. The next thing is you select a city. A drop-down menu will give you all the cities in Ontario, and you will, for the purposes of this quote, we'll choose Toronto. You only need to type the first few letters of the word and the city should come up. Postal codes are not essential at this time. You were then asked whether you want this shipment picked up at a warehouse or a residence. For the sakes of this, we'll say warehouse. And then you go to the next section. It shows the country as the United States, and we'll always do this if Canada is shown as the country of origin. We then choose the state. Let's say California. You could enter a city here, and it could be any city in California. However, it's not essential. Here is the zip code, which is indeed essential. We need the zip code in order to process all the quotes through the system, so it's absolutely imperative that a zip code be listed. For this sake, we'll use a California zip code. And again, you'll be asked whether you want to go to the warehouse or to a residence, and we'll say to a warehouse now. The next section is shipment size or volume, and again we have a drop-down menu which allows you to either choose cubic footage or the weight in pounds. For this purpose, we're going to use the volume in cubic feet, and we'll enter in 500 cubic feet. The last section says, do you require a packing service? And in most cases you will, so we'll enter yes. At that point it will ask you, do you want this rated by the hundredweight or based on the unit pack? If you wanted it based on the unit pack, you would tick this box here, and a separate window appears. The window shows all the various different types of packaging, and you would type in here how many of these particular packages you needed. Tap in accept, and that would be completed. But for the sakes of this quote, we're going to go back to the hundredweight. Everything is now complete, So all we need to do is submit the request to get the quote. And hey presto, here's your quote. You have a quote number at the top. It's from Canada, Toronto, to a warehouse in the United States, California 90210, again to a warehouse. The load summary section shows you what you've actually quoted on, in this case origin and transport. You've got a usage of 10 feet of truck. The weight would be around about 3,500 pounds, and this is based on the cube that you submitted, and the estimated load time 2 hours 8 minutes, and that is an approximation. The next section is charges. The OA charges and the transport charges are listed, giving you a grand total. You will note we don't include any DA charges, as our system is aimed at the US mover, and we assume that the US mover will want to do all their own services in the United States, and therefore we don't offer these services. We leave it entirely up to the US mover to do these. The next section is optional charges. Origin services, for storage, monthly, all of these various and quite familiar optional charges can be added. You need to take the figure for these charges, add it to the grand total in order to come up with your quote. You then go to what's included and what's not included by clicking on these links, and that will give you a page showing these things. You can even make comments or special requests in this area here. At this point you have everything you need. You can either print this page directly from the website, or you can submit by tapping on this button, and a quote will be sent to your email, the one that you registered under. And that's it. The return button brings you back to a blank quote, as you can see. Now we'll just go over this very quickly again, but this time we'll use the United States as the origin location. You'll see that it immediately changes the destination location to Canada by default. Once again, we'll choose California and the all-important zip code 90210. And this time we'll say it's coming from residence. We're going to Canada, to Ontario, and we're going to choose Toronto again, and again you only need type in the first few letters. No postal code is required, and again we'll choose residence as a destination. In the shipment size of volume, I think this time we'll choose weight in pounds, and we'll enter in 3,500. And it will then ask you, do you require unpacking services? And again we'll click yes, and once more it will ask you, do you want these by the hundredweight or the unit pack, as we showed previously. Lastly, you submit your request. And here's your quote going the other way from the United States to Canada. Again, you'll note there is no origin charges listed because we anticipate the US mover will actually do this themselves. And that basically is how it works. Seems to have taken a little while to show you, but actually once you get used to this and get into it, it takes no more than about 30 seconds to get a quote. And that's not the only thing that's fast actually. This whole system is fast. The transit times for the actual moves themselves from the date of pickup are usually no more than 3 to 7 working days, which is far quicker than the vast majority of the competition. So we're fast, we're quick, we're easy to use, and the eventual service is quicker than everybody else. What more could you need? But if you do have any other questions, please do get in touch with me at vince@cbquotes.com, and I'd be happy to answer them. And that concludes our video.